Hey, this is C&D channel. I'm Chris. This is my dog, and this is MMA for you. I'm going to be doing my post-fight analysis for InvictaFC 6. Just to tell you, this card was pretty awesome. There were no bad fights on this card, on the main card. Unfortunately, I missed the prelims. And I heard those were pretty good too. So, no bad fights here. A lot of decisions, but they were great fights. A lot of stand-up fights. One thing that's really noticeable too is just the level of competition and level of skill and technique is improving. Like Sarah Delalio, for example. Her stand-up used to be pretty sloppy. Watch her fight against Laura Taylor, it's actually pretty sharp. Even Smith versus Maya, it's still sloppy, but like it wasn't. It's still a little more measured. Cyborg looked really good, really on point. Gadelha looked awesome. Torres versus Namajunas. I mean, so many fights could be fight of the night too, like Namajunas versus Torres. I thought that Maya Smith should be it personally, but I mean, there's some great fights on this card. There's just some really good stuff here. Some interesting things. The crowd was really quiet considering how the card went, just how exciting the card was. Definitely some really good stuff here. You got some future title contenders and like Leslie Smith. I'm sure Jessica Penham will fight Michelle Watterson again. So let's get right to it. Okay, Christian Cyborg Justino beat Marlis Romina Kunin by TKO in the 4th round. Really impressed by Cyborg here, man. I mean, she used to just sloppily brawl, but she looked really composed, really measured, really picked her shots on the ground. Fought a really good fight against Kunin. Went 4 rounds, didn't look tired at all. Really impressed. Kunin, man, everyone in this card, big heart. She was in the fight. She got loopy around like the 2nd, 3rd round, but she was always trying to fight. She'd full guard a lot of times, which would cost her big time. She'd actually get a couple clean strikes in the stand-up as well, but Cyborg was just too good. It's too much for her. She'd slam her down, ragdoll her and whatnot. This fight definitely does give raises some eyebrows as far as like a Cyborg versus Rousey fight too. I mean, you kind of have to think that after seeing this performance that Cyborg could probably, before I used to think Rousey would take her down. She's kind of a sloppy, more strength than technique. But this fight really, changed my attitude. I mean, Cyborg definitely a real threat. I don't know about the clinch situations, what would happen if the fight ever happens and if the fight gets there, if Rousey could clinch and get the takedown or not. But it'd be really interesting. I mean, as far as Cyborg's next fight, I mean, there's Edion Gomez and Julia Budd, so it's probably one of those two next. It's also good because Cyborg's kind of getting her, like a reputation back. People have kind of forgotten about her, but after a win like this, performance like this, her first fight interview is good too. She's like, I'm with Invicta, I want to help it grow. She's doing the right things to really build herself back up in the masses, and I think it's working. Good win for Cyborg here. Definitely Invicta's biggest star right now, but good effort for Kunin, but I gotta say, Kunin's lost twice to Cyborg now. I think if Kunin can do it again, 135 for her, more competition, chance of finding the UFC even. I think she should go for that, to be honest. Okay. Next fight after that, we have Claudina Gadelha beating Ayaka Hamasaki by TKO in the 3rd round. Oh man, Gadelha's Brazilian Jiu-Jitsu and her top game is just awesome. She went for the arm triangle, which is really interesting because that's reportedly like the best like Noble Unyal's like best move. That's the submission they work on the most. So like Henan Barral finish Michael McDonald with that. The guys on Ultimate Fighter Brazil too. I forgot the names. He won with the arm triangle if I'm not mistaken. You saw Gadalha just go for that a lot, but her top game and her hips were just really strong. She is just smothering on top, good hips. It's really hard to recover guard with her. Just really good at keeping positions. That Gadalha's going to get Esparza, and I think it's not the best stylistic matchup for Esparza. Esparza's mainly a wrestler with good top control, but Gadalha, her ground game is legit. I just don't know what she's like on her back, but, she looks like she can scramble, too, If she gets top control on Esparza, I just think stylistically this is going to be a tough one for Esparza here. I don't know what the height differential is, though. I know Gadalha is like 5'3", so I don't really know what that's going to be like. But, great win for Claudia, Gadalha. Great entrance into InvictaFC. She, her level of competition, honestly, before this fight wasn't very good. But this fight really validated her as a top prospect and really validated her jiu-jitsu. Hamasaki has a really good ground game, a judo game, but couldn't get the takedowns. The one time she did get on top from a reversal, from getting her back taken, she couldn't stay on top for a long time. I think Gadalha's the real deal, and I think she could beat Esparza. Okay, next fight that, Lauren Taylor beat Sarah DeLalio by unanimous decision. Good to be honest with you, I thought Sarah DeLalio won rounds 1 and 3. I was a bit disappointed in DeLalio in the sense that she didn't try to take the fight to the ground. The thing with Lauren Taylor, though, when she did try to take the fight to the ground, she did absolutely nothing with it. And if anything, the 30-27 is a joke. Sarah was just working nearly finished the fight even with an armbar. I think Sarah was also getting the cleaner strikes in the stand-up. Arguably, she got the second round even, but I know in the third, I thought she was getting the cleaner strikes, the harder hits. I'm really surprised that Lauren Taylor got the decision here. I was like, nothing against her. I really thought DeLalio should have won this fight. I thought she had better striking. Striking looked really crispy. I was really impressed with it because DeLalio's striking in the past has been pretty bad, but this time it looked good. But she needed to mix up some takedowns here. I know a lot of 135ers are going to fight on top the Ultimate Fighter, so as far as who Taylor should get next, I'm guessing like Miriam Nakamoto. Unless they sign some other people. Just because, Jessamine Duke, Shayna Baszler, Alexis Davis, they're in the UFC, are going to be on, the Ultimate Fighter. So I can't really say, and I know that UFC fighters, female fighters, will fight in Invicta. So maybe Taylor can fight a Sarah Kaufman, or an Alexis Davis, or a Rosie Sexton even, or someone like that. But, yeah. We'll see. Lauren Taylor is still officially undefeated, so she's just climbing up the ladder here. Okay, next fight after that, Jennifer Maia. Leslie Smith beat Jennifer Maia by unanimous decision. Despite the weight cut, Smith looked great, man. She was just lots of pressure, used her range while mixing kicks. Still, there's some sloppy moments, but man, this fight was all action. One thing I like about Smith too is when it hits the ground, man, she's going for armbar, she's going for toe holds, she's just going for anything. Very active on the ground. On top position, she showed good ground and pound. I'm guessing they're going to do Smith versus Honchak, and that's going to be a great fight. I think Leslie Smith might actually take that one. It's her volume and her pressure fighting. That's the big thing, She's just really good at just making others play her game. She has a really good chin. Really good range and reach. It's be very interesting with Leslie Smith. She's kind of like the face of InvictaFC. It's like, I've never heard of Leslie the Peacemaker Smith, until she fought Caitlin Young in InvictaFC. Before that, I saw some of her fights. She didn't look that great. Her record wasn't that great at all. It's like, who was she? Now it's like, she's really popular. Always has fun fights. Has a personality too. Definitely like kind of like one of their stars for sure. And she's fought in almost every InvictaFC card as well. Always looking forward to seeing more Leslie Smith fights. I hope that some of the fighters locked up in Bellator can fight in Invicta, because 125 really needs the talent. I mean, you got Jessica Evil Eye, Jessica Aguilar fights at 115, Felice Herrig at 115, Mariana Kayfetso, she fights at 125 as well. So, Smith versus Honchak will be cool, but there aren't that many 125ers on the Invicta roster. I'd like to see more. And without Jessica Evil Eye there as well, I mean, she's pretty much like the consensus, one of the consensus top, female flyweights out there, if not number one in a lot of rankings. So next right after that, Jessica Penne beat Nigdali Rivera Kalanick by rear naked choke in the first 4 minutes and 57 seconds in the first round. I guess there's some bad blood between these two or something like that. A lot of people are pretty angry at Penne for pushing Nigdali after the rear naked choke. She kind of pushed her off. This was the only submission of the night, so I'm guessing it's getting submission of the night, One thing about this fight, though, it's like, with Penne, she was standing with Nigdali, and Nigdali was getting some good shots in. Penne would get some good ones, too, but Nigdali was getting some. Once it hit the floor, though, and it's all Jessica Penne, she took her back, choked her out pretty, with relative ease. I'm guessing that Penne is going to fight Michelle Waterson again, and that should be a really cool fight. I think Penne would win in the rematch, but their first fight was one of the fights of the year, and you can't count out Michelle Waterson. Okay, next fight at that, Joanne Calderwood beat Norma Ruda Center by unanimous decision. Actually, not one of the best performances by Calderwood. I mean, mainly because I'm so used to seeing her destroy people. But it's still a fun fight. Center, really tough. You can tell she's pretty inexperienced. And she took the fight on short notice, but she was always in the fight. With Calderwood showed some good takedown defense and a good ability to get back to her feet in this fight. So that, gives you hope, because I think Calderwood should be fighting for the title pretty soon, to be perfectly honest with you. Her Muay Thai is just fantastic. She uses range well. She has a good chin. One of the top strikers at 115, to be perfectly honest with you, if not the top striker at 115. If not her, maybe you can give her like a Tesha Torres or an Emily Kagan or something like that. She's definitely got more top fighters, though, Geez, I wish like Jessica Aguilar was at Invicta, to be honest with you. I'd like to see Aguilar versus Calderwood. But at 115, I mean, you can also go with Hamasaki versus Calderwood as well. But yeah, good win for Calderwood. She should be getting a title shot pretty soon. Someone else that was also impressive was Miski Inoue beating Beck Hyatt by unanimous decision. And one thing that I like about Inoue is that, like, her defense. She has good head movement. Her hands are in the right place when she strikes. And impressed with her. She's only 18 years old, man. And her stand-up is solid. Accurate, very composed. I liked what I saw from her, to be honest with you. Hyatt was game, but, especially I think in the second round, I mean, she just didn't have, couldn't match Inoue here, She's just, Inoue's just a better striker. And this is a big one for her at 115. If you want to go with Inoue Torres or Inoue Carwood, that would be pretty cool. If you want to build her up slowly, there's other fighters you can give her as well. Okay, next fight after that, which I'm guessing is getting KO'd tonight. Miriam Nakamoto beat Duda Yankovic by TKO in the first round. Man, Nakamoto's knees are vicious, dude. She's got some knees of steel. I mean, against Jessamine Duke, Duke was getting rocked by them until the illegal knee. And in this fight, she just knocked out Duda Yankovic here. And Duda Yankovic's a good striker herself. Like I said, there's kind of a dearth of talent at 135 in Invicta right now because a lot of them are going to the UFC or to the Ultimate Fighter. So it's really hard to say what happens to her. I would assume you can give her like a Lauren Taylor. I think that would be a pretty cool fight, to be honest with you. If not, see who else they can give her. But she's really, it says she's 36 because if she were younger, she could go really far, I think. I think she can go pretty far, especially with her skill set. But, she only she were younger, it's like, you can probably see her fight Rousey. Maybe she would, but, maybe she will. But, it's just that time isn't really on her side, to be perfectly honest with you. Okay, next fight after that. Teixeira Torres beat Rose Namajunas by unanimous decision. This was a fun fight that honestly could have gone either way. Rose went for those flying arm bars again. She was getting some good counters, but Teixeira Torres, especially around the second round, was beating her up. Really nice kicks. She's side kicks like jabs or like teep kicks, I really like Teixeira Torres and Namajunas. I think they'll fight again in the future. And like they were saying, probably for a title because these two are just super young. Namajunas is only like 20, 21. Torres is only like 23, 24. I mean, they'll meet again. And they're so skilled right now, even though they've only had... This is only their third pro MMA fight. And they have really good ground, Torres' ground game's getting a lot better. She kind of had that armbar. Namajunas has a really good ground game, considering that she hasn't been fighting very long. And both of their stand-up games are really good as well. I thought this fight could have gone either way, to be perfectly honest with you. And unfortunately, I missed the prelims. I know Tamika Brents versus Edian Gomez was canceled because Brent suffered a knee injury in warm-ups. Emily Kagan beat Ashley Cummins by a split decision. And Olivia von Plettenberg beat Kathina Catron by unanimous decision. So I'll probably check those fights out later. I hear they're actually pretty good fights also. So, a great card. InvictaFC always brings it. I hope they get a television deal. And I only wish great things from this organization. Their cards are awesome. The fighters are awesome. Shannon Knapp is awesome. It's just good MMA. You actually see a lot of improvement. These girls, they just bring it all the time too. It's just really fun to watch. Most InvictaFC shows just always make me really satisfied and almost MMA'd out after watching them because it's so much, and every fight's different too. You see Muay Thai here, boxing there, ground game there, crazy brawls here. BJJ game. Here it's every fight's just different, man. It's really good stuff. Always like what I see from them. So that's pretty much it for my post-fight analysis for InvictaFC 6. If you guys have any comments, leave them below. That's it for MMA for you. Thank you guys very much.